Hey, it's me, Jack Chang, back with another chapter from See You in the Cosmos. So this will be chapter 7, new recording 7, 6 minutes, 3 seconds. We're still stopped, and it's been almost 2 hours already. I think I'm getting ants in my pants, except I don't really have ants in my pants. It's just an expression. After our train stopped, one of the workers opened the doors and he said we could all get off the train if we want. We're going to be here for a while. So I took Carl Sagan out to pee and poop. That's when I saw the ambulance. We started walking over to see what happened, and a few other people who got off the train went over to look too. The paramedics in the back of the ambulance were talking to whoever was sick or maybe dying, and Carl Sagan and I got closer, and the person was wearing an oxygen mask on his face, and he was nodding and shaking his head at whatever the paramedics were asking him. And then we got even closer, and I saw his face more clearly, and I saw his blue bandana. It was the older kid. I got a weird feeling in my stomach when I saw that it was him. It was almost like when I eat too much ice cream and my stomach hurts. I get stomach freeze, and then I don't feel like eating anything for the rest of the day. It was like that. And I think Carl Sagan had a weird feeling, or maybe stomach freeze also, because he was crying and hiding behind my legs even more than usual. There was a train worker by the ambulance, and I asked, "What happened? Did he have a heart attack?" But the train worker told me to give them some room and go back to my parents. I looked at the older kid, and he looked really tired, and he looked at me, but then he looked back down. I don't think he recognized me. I wanted to tell him that I figured out what he meant when he said he hopes I find what I'm looking for. But then I realized I didn't even know his name because I forgot to ask him earlier. And then the train worker told me to move back again. So I walked backwards to give them more room, but I was still watching the older kid, and I wasn't paying attention, and I ran right into someone. I said, "Oops, sorry." And then I turned around, and it was the martial arts master, except he was a lot shorter than I thought, because before when I saw him, he was sitting down. His name's Zed, but I didn't know that yet. I just said namaste again, and he reached into his robe, and he took out a chalkboard that was the size of an iPad. It was his chalk pad. And he wrote on it, "Your brother?" ? And he pointed at the ambulance. I looked at the older kid again, and then I looked back at Zed, and he didn't seem like the person who would give me any trouble because martial arts masters only fight if there's no other choice. So I told him, "No, that's not my brother." He erased his chalk pad and wrote on it, "Traveling alone?" And I said, "I'm not. I'm traveling with Carl Sagan." And then we both looked down at Carl Sagan, who was hiding behind my legs. Zed crouched down, and I thought he was going to do some crouching tiger kick, but he was just saying hello to Carl Sagan. And Carl Sagan went up and sniffed Zed's hand, and then he went back behind my legs. I asked Zed, "Why do you use the chalk pad to talk? Did you lose your voice?" And he wrote on it, "Vow of silence." I asked him what's his name, and he wrote on it, Zed. We watched the ambulance paramedics take the older kid's blood pressure and shine a small flashlight into his eyes. They were giving him a checkup like my doctor in Rockview, Dr. Turner, gives me every year. After that, they took off the kid's oxygen mask, and Zed wrote on his chalk pad, "Good sign." But then they put the kid's backpack in the ambulance too, so I wasn't sure if it was a good sign after all. Then the train worker told us he should be fine, but they're taking him to the hospital anyway, just in case. Even though the ambulance drove away already, and we're all back on the train now, we still haven't moved yet. I don't know what's taking so long. Shouldn't we be... What is it, Zed? Zed just wrote, "Is everything okay?" Sorry, Zed. I have ants in my pants because Carl Sagan and I are going to Sharf in New Mexico to launch my golden iPad into space. We're supposed to carpool with people from rocketforum.org, and they're going to be waiting at Blake Slaughterburger near the train station. But I don't know if they'll still be there when we get there. You too? Wait, you're going to Sharf? I thought you were a martial arts master. What's your name on Rocket Forum? And where's your rocket? Zed just wrote, "Don't use internet." And underneath it he wrote, "Friends Rocket." Then does that mean you don't have a cell phone either? Zed just nodded. But what if we get there really late and your friend and the other carpoolers think we're not coming and they leave without us because nobody called them? Zed says, "We'll figure out a way." I don't know, Zed. I really hope so. I still don't get why we're not moving yet, though. Oh, no, I haven't seen the sightseer car. But this girl Lacey said it was all made of glass, so maybe we should go look. Maybe we can see why we're not moving. Great idea, Zed. So that was chapter 7 of See You in the Cosmos.